The sexiest thing a man can say to a woman? Marriage edition. I know this one's gonna get me in trouble, but here goes. We can keep having this conversation, but I'm not gonna allow you to talk to me like that. You'd be surprised at how turned on women actually get by that phrase. It's quite the aphrodisiac. So many men come to me for coaching and their wives have completely lost respect for them. It literally takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to start to understand why, because they are living in this frame of you can do whatever, you can say whatever to me, I'm just going to take it, or I shut down. You literally have two choices. You can either take it and allow the relationship to fester and resentment to build, or you can start pushing back. It might be too late, but at least you will start to have your self respect back. And therefore, she will also begin to respect you because she will realize, oh, things have to change if I want to stay in this. Not being so afraid to say the thing that you are fearful to say. That is keeping you in your femininity, and it's going to destroy your marriage long term.
Common mistakes single women make on the first date. Let's go. Number one is that you are treating the date like an actual date. You want to treat the date like a meetup. You are meeting someone for the first time to observe them, to see if you want to see them again. You have the power. You are the prize. Mistake number two. You're treating the date like a question quiz interview process instead of creating moments that make him yearn for you. You are too busy asking him questions that everyone asks. It's very common and it doesn't make you stand out, and there's no attraction that's being built. Instead, you're just asking questions back and forth, and it doesn't mesmerize him. It doesn't make him want to come back for more and more and more. Mistake number three. Instead of focusing on him, intently listening, you are too busy trying to create conversations, trying to move the conversation forward, trying to prevent awkward moments of silence. You are trying too hard to please him and make him like you, when in reality, it's for you to lean back in your feminine and allow him to put in effort into impressing you, so you decide if you want to go on a second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th date with him or not. This is why I teach my clients the exact do's and don'ts of a first, second, third, fifth, 10th date. So you leave the date on your terms and leave the man wanting more and more of you. So when he is done with the date, all he's thinking about is, wow, she is different in an amazing way. And I can't tell why, but I'm so drawn to her. And I want to see her again. I want to converse with her again. I want to hear her voice again. I want to get to know her. So if you are a single woman who is sick and tired of your dates not leading to anything, then click the link in my bio. Let's chat. Let me help you move your romantic life forward.
If you're a woman going to San Francisco, you're going to have way more options because there's more men than women there. You used to live in San Francisco.
Yes.
Like, what's your take?
I think for girls, it is a good scene for sure. Way
Is
too
it?
many dudes there. There are a lot of guys there. It's not a great place for a guy. to
They
date.
say, though, that there's a lot of weird guys there. They
Yeah,
say that the
so
odds
that's
are
true, too.
good.
80
They say that the odds are good, but the goods are odd.
They say that about us.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
80% of the men there don't have any emotional intelligence.
So maybe there aren't as many good options then.
But maybe she wants a guy without emotional intelligence. I don't know.
If we were currently single, where would we move as 36-year-olds? I would move to SF. I would
Yes.
move to Austin, Texas, and I would move to Cambridge because all three of those cities have more men than women.
That's smart.
And
Cambridge is that's a cool badass answer. Where would I move?
yeah, where would you go?
That's a good question. It is a juicy question. Where would I move if I was currently single
Yeah.
and fed up with New York? I would move to either Miami.
Okay, relax.
Every fiance wants to hear that.
Yeah. Okay, Miami.
Miami or Montreal.
See, Montreal's good for women too because there's a
Yeah.
lot of hot guys.
Good looking city.
Yeah. Apparently, though, the guys in Montreal don't like to get married.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Montreal, Miami, or Dallas, I think.
This video is in defense of the modern woman because I've been getting a lot of responses from men saying that they don't want modern women have bad attitudes, or that they shame and guilt and all these negative things. While I'm not saying that there may not be women out there who are this way, I do want men to understand that this comes from somewhere. That a lot of modern women, I'm gonna speak for myself in this situation, don't trust men to be a traditional man, therefore allowing her to be a traditional woman. A lot of times grow up in households where men were not the providers or the protectors. And what was instilled in us from either our mothers or just from our own observations is that we have to take care of ourselves and we have to be independent, because you cannot rely on a man, not because we don't want to, but because we've seen dysfunctionality in the way that our parents had their relationship. So as I speak to other modern women, a lot of them say that it's not that they wouldn't like to be taken care of, it's the fact that a lot of women don't trust men because of the men that they've seen in their lives. So if you are a man and you have this negative perspective of modern women and you come across a modern woman who does have a bad attitude, understand that over time, if you're able to show her and prove to her that you can be the provider and the protector that you want to be, she may start to trust you and fall in line with a more traditional role because she feels safe enough to do that with you.
Riddle me this. Why after a first date, if you make out, you end up in a 3-month-long situationship? If you just kiss once, you're never going to see that person again. If you fuck each other, that means you don't actually like each other. And if you don't touch at all, that means you found your husband.
The hottest thing a man can do is make a girl feel like he doesn't need her, but he wants her. And like, he's okay with shit not working out between them because he just has a lot of options. Like, we're good, baby. Like, it's great meeting you, but like, if it doesn't work out, whatever. I just feel like that's just such a hotter energy to be giving off. You have such an abundant mindset. You have other options. I'm not your only source of female energy. Like, that's attractive.
If you're trying to get over a man, ask yourself, if you had a son and he turned out exactly like this man in question, exactly like him, would you be happy? Would you be proud of him? Or if you had a daughter and she brought home this same exact man, would you be happy? Would you feel good about her being with him? Would you give her your blessing?
As a woman, I think if you end up being smarter than your significant other and you're challenging them all the time, then it does take away from the kind of dominance aspect that you find attractive in a relationship.
I think it's also, we don't want to underestimate the degree to which men are also intimidated by women who are outstanding across multiple dimensions. Men are certainly intimidated by women who are very physically attractive. So then if you take a woman who's very intelligent and very physically attractive, she's going to be a very intimidating target, and fewer men in all likelihood are going to approach her. And so what that means is that as a woman becomes more competent, which would include intellectually competent, her pool of eligible mates shrinks.
Hey baddies, today I'm giving you first date tips. This is something everyone needs to know because we all have to go on first dates. We all get to go on first dates, so we might as well all be educated on some good first date tips. So there's no need to be nervous. First of all, just get that out of the way. Okay, if anything, I hate this thing. If anything, he's more nervous than you. Okay, the amount of times I've gone on a first date and the man is just like way more nervous than me, I'm like, you know what? I get it, babe. Like, I would be nervous if I were you too. Okay, but let's go through what to wear, what to say, and how to not make it awkward. I do fear that sometimes first dates can be awkward. Okay, what to wear? You just need to dress like the fantasy version of you. So pick an outfit that says, I didn't try too hard, but I still slayed on accident. Slay is my essence. So here's some fit inspo for you. Y'all are going on a casual coffee date. I would go with cute jeans, cute bodysuit, leather jacket, chunky hoops. It's giving, oops, just slayed on purpose. Honestly, just wear what makes you feel confident. If you're going to dinner or an evening out, like, oh god, I don't want to wear like a long dress, that would make me look silly because it's not that serious. You can always go for an off-the-shoulder top, a dainty necklace, and a perfume that honestly is the outfit. The perfume is the outfit. Just smell good, and he's not even going to care what you're wearing. Little sneaky confidence trick. I would wear red or black. A psychologically boost attraction and power. So if you're not feeling your most confident self, you're like, I have nothing to wear, just wear something red. You can never go wrong with red. You're gonna feel like a confident baddie, and he's gonna be like, yeah, this girl is sexy. Another thing I want to say, make sure you're safe. Okay, if you've never met this guy and he's like, you want to come to my house? No thanks, sir, I don't want to die. I went to a man's house on the first date, and it turns out later he was a registered sex offender. So we shouldn't go to men's house on the first date. I was saved by the grace of God that day. So just make sure you're safe. Meet in a public place if you've never met before. Share your location with your friends. Be like, this is this guy's name, this is his car license plate, this is the kind of car he drives, and this is where we're going. It's never bad to be safe. Okay, next, don't over ask or overshare. I know when we get in situations like first dates, we're just gonna want to ramble and be like, oh God, what's your favorite hobby? Mine is skateboarding, and I fell once and broke my leg and had to go to the hospital. Ha, so funny. That's cool and all, but now he knows your whole life story, so just shut up. Be the baddie, not the interviewer. Be playful, chill, and slightly mysterious. So, what's your family like? Oh, you know what? I really love my mom's side, but there's some lore on my dad's side. Hey, you don't have to give that lore away yet, because this is only the first date. If you give him everything on the first date, why would he want a second date? I'm just saying. Here's a question you can ask that is like flirty, mysterious, not giving I'm a news reporter, and low-key I'm interviewing you and I'm actually a spy. So what's something I wouldn't guess about you? What's something no one knows about you? One, you're creating an emotional connection. An emotional connection fosters intimacy. Another question. If we were in a movie right now, what would the movie be called? Boom, this makes him think. This makes him like have some curiosity. Always ask questions that will lead into other questions. They're called open-ended questions. Boom, you can research some. If you're worried about things getting awkward or silent, don't think of it like an awkward silence. Think of it as a power pause. Oh, it's silent right now? Well, let me use the silence to assess the overall vibe of this date. Okay, if it gets silent, sip your coffee like it's a part of the aesthetic. I'm sipping my coffee and it's silent. And I look mysterious and sexy AF right now. If he's silent and you don't know what he's thinking, just make eye contact and be like, what are you thinking about? Sexy. Why are you so quiet? Did I make you nervous? Boom! You should thank silence. Give it a nice kiss. It's actually giving you leeway to be sexy. Exit strategy. How are we going to leave the date? You're going to leave the date making him want a second date. So you have to leave him wanting more. Again, don't answer all his questions in depth. Don't give him everything on the first date. Don't invite him inside. This isn't playing the game. This is having self-respect. Don't invite him inside, no matter how good the date went, no matter how much you want to. You didn't shave your coochie, so you can't invite him inside. You can't give it away on the first date. Because, one, you're going to feel like after, and two, what's he going to come back for? You already gave him everything. That's for you and for him. That's all I want to say about that. When you leave, thank him for the date. Thank him for the fun time. A hug or even maybe a kiss if you want to give him a kiss. And you go inside your house. And then guess what? You don't text him right away. This isn't playing the game. This is giving you yourself time to think. How did that date go? Did I have fun? Do I want to go on another date? Give yourself time to think, okay? Because guess what? When we leave, he's not the first thing on our mind. The first thing on our mind is, okay, I'm going to take a shower now. Jeez. Remember, he's probably more nervous than you. It's a first date for everybody. You're not there trying to make a great first impression. You're just having a first date. Feel it out. Don't perform. Okay, guys? Stay sexy and slay the day.
I do not text anyone that ever says, text me when you get home, and here's why. If a man tells me, text me when you get home, I don't text them, because guess what? Everyone says that to me. That's what guys say. That's their go-to move. I want to know if they actually care if I get home safe. So what I do is I get home safe and I wait for them to say, did you get home? Now let me tell you, when you come with did you get home safe, are you home? That's when I'm texting you. That's when I know you're the one. But if you tell me text when you get home and then there's no did you get home safe, you didn't care. You're just saying that. Taboo, baby. You're just going through the motions and I don't like it. I'm just like, I want to know if you really care. I want to know if you're in it. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if you care, bookers. So if you want to know if he's the one, don't text him when you get home. Okay, let him text you and say, did you make it home safe? Period.
If I had a first date coming up, this is exactly what I would do and say to make it the best date ever. To be quite frank with you guys, I have been on many first dates in my life, and a lot of them actually suck. But if you know what you're doing, it can be really fun. So I'm going to pass on my knowledge to you. If you're my boyfriend, I'm completely lying, and I've never been on a date in my entire life, so anyway. First of all, go somewhere interactive. Do not go to a movie. I know this seems like a great first date, and this might be controversial to some, but it's awkward to just sit there staring at something, not looking at each other, not having conversation,
there's no chance to really get to know each other unless you incorporate like a dinner or something, but it's just awkward. It seems good in theory, but it's not. Doing something that boosts adrenaline on your first date, something like roller coaster park or etc., I don't know, will actually make their attraction to you stronger. It's this physiological process in our brain that kind of tricks us into thinking we're more attracted to the person than we actually are. But doing something interactive, such as a museum, is really key to actually having fun on a first date. If you get stuck in conversation, don't just start talking about yourself. Ask them questions about themselves. The more you get someone talking about themselves, the more they're going to enjoy the conversation. Also, don't be afraid of a little bit of silence. Work with the tension, because it's kind of sexy when you can use tension in your favor. And if all else fails, a game of Would You Rather could be kind of funny and would definitely break the ice. So you do something silly like that. Avoid your phone, especially when or if you're sitting and waiting for them. I know it's hard, but it actually diminishes your value just a little bit when people see you just head down scrolling on your phone. It makes you look a little bit less intelligent. I heard this before and I kind of understand it. So also, if you're on your phone a lot during the date, not only does it make you look not interested, but it also shows the person that you're on your phone a lot. So if they start texting you and you're playing hard to get and you don't respond, they're going to know that you're playing hard to get because they saw you on your phone. They know you're on your phone all the time. So just a heads up. There is no reason for you to be trauma dumping or oversharing on this person. If maybe they make you feel so comfortable to the point where you can, maybe. But even then, honestly, give it a week. Give it some time. Don't let them have that. Don't just open your heart for this random person, because they could use that against you. Don't mention that somebody has treated you terribly in the past. Allow them to believe that you have only and ever accepted amazing treatment and that you expect that from them as well. As long as they believe that that's what you expect and that's the only thing that you allow in your life, they'll assume the position, you know? As for like outfit, makeup, whatever, just do what makes you feel confident. Don't try to be who you think they want, because they will want the person who is confident in their skin. Have you ever seen those things where it's like the guy told his girlfriend to go blonde, then she goes blonde, and then he leaves her for a brunette? It's just like, you can't win, so just be yourself. It doesn't matter. And whoever sticks. But don't worry about it and just see what happens. There is so many people to meet in the world, and just have fun with it. It's fun, really, is all it is. So, anyway, good luck.
These are signs that a woman is sexually attracted to you. And if you want to stop missing opportunities with women you're attracted to, I suggest hitting that follow button so that you can see more videos like this. 1, her and her friends can't stop looking at you. It's one thing for her to be continuously glancing over, but if she's involved her friends, it's because she thinks you're especially hot, and now they're all checking you out as confirmation. 2, she gets closer to you. When a woman steps into your personal space, it's not by accident. If she's moving closer, leaning in, or brushing up against you, she's sending a clear message that she's comfortable with you and she wants you to close the gap. And 3, she wants you to cook for her. When she brings up wanting a home-cooked meal or wanting to see your cooking skills, she knows what she's doing. She's hinting at wanting to hang out somewhere more private, and I don't think you need me to explain why that's a major sign of attraction. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, feel free to save this video as a helpful reminder of signs that she is sexually attracted to you.
You know the biggest reason why women end up with mediocre men? They don't want to wait. They're impatient. Okay, instead of waiting a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, however long it takes for the right man to come along, you settle. You're like, oh, he's good enough. Or maybe this is love, or they don't want to miss out, right? There's like this whole FOMO thing on a good relationship. There's not going to be a FOMO when it comes to a good relationship. You are just going to know. There's not going to be doubts. There's not going to be intuition flowing through you, telling you, maybe take a closer look. I promise you, the red flags that you are ignoring are going to be the reason why the guy that's meant for you keeps getting pushed out more and more and more, because you are just given mediocre men or femme men or men that don't deserve your time the attention.
Let's talk about humiliationships, because that's what we're calling them now. Okay, girls? It's not a situationship, it's a humiliationship. He's making you look like a fool, and I'm going to tell you in the following ways. Number one, and most importantly, you're not his only girl. Period. As soon as you enter into that humiliationship, you know you are not his only girl, you are his placeholder. I want you to imagine him going out and flirting with other girls. He's doing it. I want you to imagine him going home with other girls. He's doing it. I want you to imagine him texting those other girls. He's doing it. Sending them reactions on Instagram. Ugh, I hate those. He's doing it. When you are in one of these humiliationships, you're basically competing for his attention. And that's sad. Because again, if he's not obsessed with you, that's not your man. Put him back in the kennel. Not your man. Save yourself the humiliation and find a real man, or even better, be alone. Some of you guys are scared of being alone, and I'll never understand that. Granted, I have a second appendage, also known as a daughter, but even if she wasn't here, I would be totally fine with being alone. Staying alone until you find your dream man, the man who doesn't think your expectations are too high, that you're too high maintenance, that you have too many standards. That's the one you want to wait on. And yeah, he's out there, I promise you. I love you.
A lot of men don't like the idea of going 50-50 with their partner, right? They don't like the idea that they're going to be expected to do more chores and childcare with their own family. Because in doing so, we are asking men to do more than they've done historically, right? The data shows that when women marry men, they have to do exponentially more work. The data also shows that women do more domestic labor and childcare than their male counterparts. Men typically have more time for hobbies and friendships and things outside of the home that are just for them and have nothing to do with taking care of the home and the children. And so when women say, I want an equitable partner, I want a partner who washes the dishes, men hear 50-50. First and foremost, most women never say 50-50 because we know it's not possible. 50-50 is not something that most families can achieve because there's just too much nuance when it comes to our careers and our children and our lives in general. 50-50 also doesn't mean that I do half the laundry and you do half the laundry. It might mean that I do the laundry and you do the dishes. It might mean that I shovel and you mow the lawn. It might mean a lot of things, but it doesn't mean we're splitting everything exactly down the middle. Regardless, men often come in my comments and say, I would love to hear from your husband. I bet he's miserable. Because the idea of going 50-50 with a woman sounds awful to them, right? Because it's more work than they've done historically. When they get married, they do so under the assumption that they won't have to do that work, that their partner will do the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning and the childcare. But women are out in the workforce earning money, right? So they're expected to go work, they're expected to do all the chores, they're expected to take care of the kids and do so with a smile on their face. They are supposed to have this 80-20 split and be happy, but men wouldn't be happy with the 50-50. Why do we expect women to be happy with something that men would never tolerate, right? They would never do it. And so this conversation is actually quite large, right? Because it has to do with how we spend our time, how we protect our time. Oftentimes, women are expected to sacrifice their time for the family and for their partner, right? They'll take a more flexible job so they can do pickup for school. They'll take a more flexible job so they're available for sick days when their kids are sick. They will do a more flexible job so they can do more around the house and with the kids, allowing their partner to do more paid work. Because oftentimes men will point to that. Well, men do more paid work. Yes, they do more paid work because they're not doing the work at home, right? And so this continues to breed inequities, not just at home, but also at work and just in life in general. Men tend to get away with doing less work, which allows them more time for themselves, more time for hobbies and for their friends and for just alone time in general. Women typically have very little time to themselves, especially after marriage and especially after children, right? It's bad after marriage, but it's worse after children. And so when women say, I want equity, I want a partner who does the dishes, a lot of men get triggered by that because they don't want to be expected to do more work. They're very comfortable with the 80-20 split. Why would they want the 50-50 split? Why would they want to have to go out and earn a paycheck and then come home and do more work, right? But they expect women to do that because that's the expectation of women, that they will do everything for everyone, despite the fact that men are no longer the sole providers. They're not a sole income earner, right? They are not the breadwinners in some instances, but they still would like women to act as though they are. And it's really uncomfortable to have these conversations because it throws up these defense mechanisms of saying, well, you don't mow the lawn, so I don't want to hear about it. But the things that women do happen every single day. The laundry, the dishes, the taking care of the kids, mowing the lawn, shoveling, as this man says, that doesn't happen very often. And so they want to do the things that don't happen often because if they're expected to do the things that happen every single day, they're going to be living a very busy life similar to what women are doing currently.
If you're a girl and you're beautiful, smart, hardworking, and driven, you are most likely single right now. And all the guys are gonna get pissed right now, but it's so true. I honestly just think the options are so limited because hear me out. So like as a girl, you want to find a partner that exceeds you in every single area. So like you want someone that looks better than you, is smarter than you, is more hardworking, has better like social characteristics. Like you look for a partner that has like better qualities than you, or at least like meets you. And not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but it's like when you're a girl that has all of her shit together, looks good, is hardworking, makes a lot of money, it's like, where do you go from there? There's so limited options. And then it's like the guys that are good options that would fit your standards are just cunts because like they have every option in the world. Because there's no absolute way I'm marrying someone that makes less money than me, isn't as funny, or like doesn't have as good people skills. Like there's just no way that that's happening.
What to talk about on a first date so that you get to know them organically. Try to immediately greet them. I know some people are like super reserved and closed off. They don't like touch, they don't want to hug, but do the hug. Just do the hi, I'm Hallie, nice to meet you. Just go in for the hug. I'm not a touchy person in that way. We broke the touch barrier. And then the first thing you can always talk about is how was it getting there? Be like, oh, did you drive here? Did you walk here, bike here? And that way you guys have a little bit of small talk while you guys are either entering the place, if you guys met outside, or even if you sat down and you're meeting them, that is immediately something that you can begin talking about. And you can go into, oh, are you from this area? Say you guys are going on a date in LA. You can be like, oh, did you grow up in LA? And if they're like, yes, be like, oh, that's so amazing. What's your favorite part? You can talk about where you grew up and the different places. And then you can always go back to like, oh, okay, you grew up here. Where would you ever move out of this town? Would you ever want to live in another country, another place, another city? This is a great conversation starter of like, where are you from / would you ever want to live anywhere else? Because it gets people talking about their background, and then it segues into other things like, oh, did they grow up with their family? Do they still live with their family? Do they live alone? And that then segues into other conversations where you could ask about their siblings, their parents, are their parents married, divorced, the usual. If they are a good dater and conversationalist as well, they will be asking you those questions back. If they're like, oh yeah, I have 2 siblings, what about you? Oh, cool, which one's your favorite? Okay, well now I have to ask you, which one's your favorite? That's just like that natural ping pong, okay? A good date will feel like a ping pong match. It's back and forth, back and forth. It's not just like one person hitting it and the other person's just like, and it's just like flying by them. The conversation starts to slow down, or you just want to change the convo a little bit. The next best thing is the menu, okay? If you're at a bar, at a restaurant, food is the best thing because you guys can look at the menu together like, oh, what are you ordering? What are you thinking? This is where I like to bring in little food questions. Oh, okay, I'm looking at that. Ooh, that's spicy. I love spicy food, or I don't like spicy food. And then hopefully, they'll ask you the same thing like, oh yeah, like I really love spices. Can you handle it? What I really like too about talking about food and drinks is also how you kind of get to know a person's health and lifestyle. Do they drink a lot? Do they like to eat healthy? Do they eat more bad junk food? There's nothing really bad per se, but you can just learn a few things about what this person kind of likes to do or how they like to, live their lifestyle based. Something annoying that might happen on a first date is you notice you're the one asking all the questions and kind of leading the conversation. A good way to kind of like rebound from that is to be like, oh, sorry, I got a little carried away, or oof, I kind of lost myself there. I was just so excited to talk to you. I realized I'm doing all the talking. Is there anything you'd like to say? Is there anything you'd like to ask? And then they kind of should be able to pick up on that and be like, oh yeah, sorry. Like, they might be a little bit more shy, a little bit more reserved. This could happen vice versa. If you notice that you're not asking us questions and they're kind of carrying it, try to pick it up a little bit. I hope that gives you a few ideas on what to talk about on your first date. And if you need more advice, you can always listen to my podcast, Girl Core.
Ladies, if you want to be that girl, and I mean that girl that's never getting ghosted, that girl that every man is chasing after, that girl that's never begging for the bare minimum, then listen to this because I have the formula. It's not rocket science. I've been following a creator here on TikTok for the past few months and been following her guidelines for dating. And let me tell you, my life has changed. I'm going to link her in the description. Definitely go watch her videos because she's incredible. But I'm going to give a little summary of the things that she talks about and the things I've implemented in my life and how they have changed the dating game for me. First, as women, we respond to criticism. If my friend comes up to me and goes, Kelsey, I hate that sweater. That sweater does not look good on you. Guess what? I'm probably not wearing this sweater again, okay? Every time I look at this sweater, I'm like, ooh, I feel like that sweater probably doesn't look good on me. And so in return, that's the way that we try to enable change in men. If we go to a man and we don't like the shirt that he's wearing, we're like, ugh, I don't like that shirt on you. Guess what? That man is gonna wear that shirt every chance he gets because that is how men respond to criticism. So next time a man upsets you, you know what we're not gonna do, ladies? We are not gonna send him a novel text message about why he hurt us, why what he did was wrong, because you know what? He knows. He knows. We live in this world where we think that he just doesn't get it. And if we spell it out for him point by point in this text message, he's gonna get it. No, he's gonna see that and he's gonna be annoyed. It's not gonna make him want to change the way that if a woman saw it, it might make us want to change our actions. Instead, what we're gonna do, we're gonna start taking our energy away. That's what men respond to. They respond to us withdrawing the energy that they want from us. For example, let's say you've been going on dates with Jason and they've been really fun. You really like Jason, but all of a sudden, Jason doesn't text you for a full week. Then all of a sudden, whoop, out of nowhere, Jason texts you, says, hey, wanna grab drinks tonight? We are not going to send Jason a text message this long about how he hurt us, how it was disrespectful that he just didn't speak to us for a week and then just expects us to just go and hang out with him. No, because you know what? Jason knows. Deep in Jason's core, he knows that it's disrespectful to do that to somebody. We're gonna say, oh, what's up, Jason? I wish you would have asked me earlier. I actually already have plans tonight. And it does not matter what those plans are. Actually, the plan should be as boring as possible because you want Jason to know that he's not even worth more than your most boring plans. I can literally say, oh, sorry, I actually just plan to water my plants tonight. It doesn't have to be a very exciting plan. You're just showing Jason that you're not the type of girl that he can just not text for a week and then text out of nowhere and you're just gonna get up and go on a date with him. Because we're also not doing that. Because if you just say, oh, yeah, Jason, or for sure, let's go on this date. You're actually just showing him that you're willing to do that you are the type of girl that he can text last minute and you'll go on the date. Because in men's heads, they're logical. They like to put the least amount of effort into something to get the result they want. And if he knows that he cannot text you for a week and then hit you up and you're willing to just go, then that's what he's gonna do. You're allowing that behavior. And if you want that kind of relationship, fine, go on the date. But if you wanna be the type of girl that he's planning dates with, that he's putting effort and energy into, you're gonna say no. You're gonna say, sorry, gotta water my plants tonight, Jason. Wish you would have asked me sooner because tonight's already booked for me. So instead of calling Jason out in a really long text or just giving in to whatever Jason wants, you're simply taking away the energy, the result he wants. He's realized that he likes you. He likes spending time with you. He thinks you're a great girl. But if he wants to get that attention and that energy from you, he needs to act accordingly. Margarita, the creator that I'm tagging, always says that you should be a type of woman that's hard to get, but easy to be with. Meaning, don't just go on the date with Jason, okay? Jason has to earn that date. If he acts accordingly, then he gets your time and energy. But also when he's with you, be fun. Be a fun girl to be with, okay? Because you know what happens if you start sending these long text messages? You become his mother, okay? Do you want to be his mother? No, I don't want to be a man's mother. I want to be a man's girlfriend, okay? I don't want to be his mother. But when you start chewing him out over text messages, that's what you're becoming. You're becoming his mother. Mothers teach their sons by chewing them out. Women teach the men that they are dating by removing their feminine energy from the man because that's what that man wants. He wants your time and your attention to have fun with you and all of these things. If he's not acting accordingly, that's what we're taking away. We don't want to chew him out because we're not his mom. We don't want to be in a relationship with a man where we are his mother because you can chew this man out as much as you want. It's only going to build resentment and you're not going to get that relationship dynamic that you crave. You're going to become his mother. And you know what? If you take away that feminine energy and he's still not acting accordingly, he's not the man you want to be. Okay, whoop, bye. Bye. You are that girl. Always remember, you are that girl. You're always going to be that girl. And if he doesn't see that, guess what? There's men that will. Our feminine energy is our power. It can unlock anything we want. It is so powerful. And it's time that we utilize it. As a girl that is so emotionally reactive to my core, I know how hard it is to just take a step back, let the man choose his actions, and then I will react with my actions based on his choices. Having a big emotional reaction to his action, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to get you the outcome that you want. Silence can be so powerful. Let a man want you to talk. Make a man miss you. Don't text him back right away. If he isn't acting the way you want him to act, let him sit on it. Let him marinate on it. Let him realize that if he's going to act that way, he's not going to get the response he wants from you. Work on you. Work on bettering yourself. Work on getting your own hobbies, your own things to do. Don't focus on when this man is going to text you back. If you're sitting around thinking, Jason hasn't responded to me in 3-4 days. No. Okay? You're already not being that girl because you're letting a man who isn't treating you right take up your brain space, okay? Your brain space needs to be taken up with things that you're doing to better yourself. Going to workout classes, picking up a hobby, hanging out with your friends. So that when Jason does text you, you're not like, oh my gosh, Jason, he texted me finally. You're like, oh, Jason. Wow, he didn't text me in days. That's like kind of weird of him. What an L for him, because I'm a great girl and he just could have been talking to me and he hasn't been. Ew. Gross. Your energy and your time is your power. If you're sending these long text messages, you are giving your energy, and that's not what we want. We want to give no energy to bad behavior. Some of y'all might not agree with me, but I'm just saying that in the last few months when I've started using this, I have completely seen a shift in the way that I've been dating and the way that men treat me. And I've had way more success when men realize that the only way they're gonna get my time, my attention, and my energy is by acting accordingly. They do. They really do.
I need to rant about female rage in the dating space for a hot minute. So I just got played by the third guy in a row. The first one was 41 years old. Second one was 30. And this last one was 32. It's like, I'm gonna go for the older guys. They're not as big of assholes. Well, I'm 0 for 3 on that theory. So I'm really trying to not become one of those girls that hates all men. All men suck, but like, wow. Like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. I can deal with rejection because I've done a lot of work on myself. I have high self-worth. I have high self-respect. Like, we're Gucci gang in that aspect. But the deception of these situations, it's just unnecessary. It's dehumanizing. It makes me feel like I was completely disposable, like I was completely worthless. Like all of these things, all these conversations, all of the times that we hung out, all the forehead kisses are all a lie. How could they not be? How could it be real and you're seeing somebody else at the same time? What? I don't know how to do that. Like, how do people do this shit? I don't know, man. Like, I know what I want, and when you have a goal, you have to act like it. If you want to get in shape, you need to eat like it. You need to go to the gym. You need to go on a walk. You need to drink more water. You need to sleep, right? If you want to be in a relationship, you need to put yourself out there. You need to be emotionally available. You need to do the work. You need to protect your heart. And I'm trying to do all of these damn things, and I just feel like I keep getting beat the fuck down and run over. And I'm trying to prevent that. Like, I am putting up the boundaries and the barriers, and I'm vetting them out for that not to happen, and it's still happening. So, I'm 28 years old. I'm single for the first and longest time in my life. I hate it. I hate that I hate being single. But it's just the truth for me. And I'm lonely. I think a lot of us are. So, that's it. That's the rant.
Okay, single girlies, we need to talk about the mindset you need to have when you're going on a first date. I'm gonna give you 4 tips. And I was single for 10 years, okay? I did not love dating, if we're gonna be honest. I was too picky for it. But this is what I would tell myself, and this is what I tell my friends. So I'm gonna be telling you. Number 1, let's take the pressure off the date. It's either gonna end up being a funny story, learning experience, or a successful date. Number 2, you're not his lawyer. You're not his lawyer. On that date or after that date, I don't want you convincing yourself that he's a good guy or you should give him another try, blah, 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 blah. If you're not feeling it, just because you feel like, oh, I've been single for a while, or like I really want to be in a relationship, so let me see if it just like works out with this guy. No. Number 3, you're your lawyer. What I'm saying here is that you're the prize. Forget that. The first date is about you deciding whether you want to see him again. Not deciding and freaking out of whether he wants to see you again. That's not what we're focusing on. I don't want you investing your time and your energy into someone that we've only been on one date with. Absolutely not. Number 4, this is controversial. We're not sleeping with him. I'm telling you the advice I give myself and the advice I give my friends. And I'm not saying it because like it comes off slutty or it comes off whatever. I don't give a shit. I just think sleeping with someone is intimacy. Like it's probably the most physical, intimate moment you could have with someone, you know? So I'm very much like, let's put one foot in front of the other before we get there, you know? Like, I waited a month and a half with my boyfriend. Probably like 5 or 6 dates, I don't remember, but that's what I felt comfortable with. I also was like, had a lot of boundaries when it comes to who I decided to sleep with, which like we can talk about another time. I was very strict about it, and I'm glad I was, because I had moments where I wasn't, and those are the moments I regret the most. Sleeping with someone you won't regret. Also, I tell my friends, like, STDs are real, and getting pregnant is also real. We don't want to have that possibility with a guy that we've known for an hour and a half. Second date, sure. The third date, sure. The first date, never. And I get it, there's some people who go on first dates and see what the person and it works out with them. I'm sure it does, it happens all the time. I'm not saying it as in like, oh, he's not gonna like you, or he's not gonna do whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying you're saving yourself. And you're allowing the like emotional potential rather than just starting off so quickly with the physical. Second date, go for it, I don't care. First date, just let's not. I don't know, there's a lot of important things to keep in mind when going on a first date. Be sure of yourself, know what you want and what you want from someone else. And don't make it so much about whether they like you or not. At least not yet. Be safe out there, okay?
If I die tomorrow, this is everything I want you to know about approaching beautiful women. And if you don't already know, I'm Jamie Date, dating coach for men, making dating make sense again. So your goal for approaching women should never be to get her number, to take her on a date, to take her home with you. Those goals could be for once you get to know her, once she's won you over, but not in the original initial interaction. Because why would you even want those things to be your goal? You can't even control that outcome. Instead, your approaching goals should focus on the things that you can control. Getting out of your comfort zone, normalizing talking to pretty women, getting her to smile, and being a human, talking to someone outside of a screen. And my personal favorite, leaving her better off than when you found her. That's the goal. By focusing on these things that you can control, it lowers the pressure.
I'm going to share the best piece of relationship advice that I've ever gotten because I feel like some of you need it right now. And I feel qualified to say this because I'm now getting married to the most amazing human being in the world. And I had dated a lot, and I had dated a lot of different type of people. I'm talking good men, bad, horrible men, tall men, short men, rich men, poor men, every single type of different relationship, like basically everything. So I do feel qualified to say this, but the relationship advice came from my mom. So of course, when I first heard it, I ignored it. What does she know? But alas, she's Polish, so she was raised in communism. So her relationship advice was always going to be really, really direct. It wasn't like, find someone who loves you, find someone who makes you happy. No, she said, life is already complicated. Do not complicate your own life further. But she said in Polish. So what does this mean? It means your partner should make your life easier. It should be easy to be with them. It should make things easier in general for you. And some of you are going to come in here and say like, oh no, you have to make sacrifices. I'm not talking about like some small sacrifices like, yeah, I like the apartment to be hot and my fiance likes it cooler, whatever. But hear me out. If you're dating somebody and you feel like you have so many more responsibilities and you're cleaning the house all the time, or like all of a sudden you're picking up dishes for two and cooking for two, first of all, you're not dating, you've adopted him. That's making your life harder. Like that's complicating your life. Or you're dating somebody and you feel like you're constantly walking on ice and trying not to piss them off. He's making your life more complicated. That's not the right person for you. Or there's so much like drama with his family and a bunch of stuff going on. Again, making your life more complicated. Or, I love this one, he's a deadbeat. He doesn't work, but you love him. But daddy, I love him, but he's so great. And you're paying the bills. No, he's making your life more complicated. When you find the right person, and I'm sure women on here can attest to this, you can comment below, when you find the right person, your life gets significantly easier. You find somebody to split your burdens, your challenges, your chores, your housework, your all of that kind of stuff, your life should get easier. So that's the relationship advice I have for you for 2025. Life is complicated already. Do not complicate your life further. Find somebody who makes things easier for you.
The very best piece of advice I've ever gotten when it comes to dating is this. Find a man who wants to be a husband, not a man that wants a wife. There's a difference in the amount of capacity he will have for you, the amount of unconditional care he can give, his willingness to serve versus a neediness to be served, and in his ability to consider your experience instead of getting consumed by his own. I'm going to just start living by this because that is so great.
You want to know why some of the most gorgeous, fashionable, glamorous women have the hardest time dating? It's because a lot of them are overcompensating with their appearance for their masculine energy, okay? Under all of that glamour and beauty is pure masculine energy. And luckily, I think if you are one of these girls, you can figure out a way to lean into your divine feminine. But the problem is, men might want to be with a girl that looks like you, but they're going to choose a woman who sometimes looks not as good as you because those women know, and they were either trained from an early age or they figured it out. Maybe they took my course, I don't know, but they figured out a way to make these men feel like men. Men do not want an equal. They do not want a woman who is competition to them. They want a woman who they can impress. They want a woman who they can lead. And if they don't feel that they can provide that to you, they're going to find a girl who they do feel that way about. And if she doesn't look as good as you, they're still going to choose her. So the good news is you can learn how to turn off your masculine energy when it comes to dating. I have a whole course dedicated to it. It's linked in my bio. There's a free video. Or you can also choose beta men. And I don't think that's always a bad thing. Like some guys, they like a more dominant woman, but you might not like those kinds of men. Or you might look at those kinds of men and think you can fix them up. You can't. Okay, you got to take them and accept them as they are. But yeah, if you want a guy who's alpha, you're going to have to lean into your feminine. Follow me for more dating tips and good luck.
Here's some unfiltered advice from a white woman that you did not ask for, but somehow the algorithm thinks that you need. Not a day goes by that I don't fantasize about my situationship knocking on my door, telling me that I was right, he was wrong, he made a mistake, please give me another chance. The thing is that in order for me to be up to giving him another chance, he would need to be a completely different person. He would have to change what he wants in his future, how he's going about getting that right now, how he has been treating me. We would have to put in a lot of work in order for things to work out between us, and in all honesty, I'm just better off finding a different person or just being happy being alone. And I would like to scream from the rooftops that being happy being alone does not happen overnight. It takes work. It is a muscle. Every day you have to keep working at it and keep reminding yourself that you are better off than being in a situation where you are not happy, but just for the sake of staying with another person. But I tell you, once you get to that point where you are so happy being alone that someone incredible would have to make you change your mind about that, you have all the power. You have all the cards in your deck. So that's where I'm at in my journey, and I hope that you can get there too.
If you're nervous to go on a first date, I'm going to tell you 2 things that helped me. Been on 2 first dates in the last month, and I'm like chronically single, never had a boyfriend. I also went from 2018 to 2024 without going on any dates. So getting back out there has been like kind of scary. But I found whenever I'm nervous for a first date, I'm making it like a huge problem, my own huge problem. So what I did the other day, I like took a step back and I'm like, this is not even a big problem. And I was like, okay, there are probably 1,000+ other girls going on a first date tonight. You are not the only one going through this. It kind of made what felt like a huge problem, a huge fear, seem kind of small, and just still somehow made me feel better about going. The thing I run into with first dates is the second I agree to go on the date, all of a sudden my brain fills up with images of me that I've seen from like bad angles. I start getting really nervous, like, oh my gosh, is this person gonna see me from like a bad angle? Are they gonna think I'm a catfish? Especially whenever it's meeting someone online, like they've only seen pictures of you, like you've only seen me as a flat Stanley. But then once again, I kind of broke down that thought process. I was like, okay, if I go on this date, they aren't attracted to me, they don't like me, what in my world changes from that? I'm already single, I already don't have a boyfriend, I'm already not engaged, I'm not losing anyone, I'm not losing anything. If anything, I'm just one day closer to like meeting the person that I'm supposed to be with. So a lot of what has like healed me and made me feel better and more confident in the dating space is simply changing my mindset, focusing on when I have negative thoughts, how can I make them just a little bit less negative? Yeah, I know dating can be scary. Like we see people going on dates all the time, but we never talk about how much anxiety it can really bring people. So yeah, I hope maybe these perspectives can kind of help you feel a little bit more confident going into a first date.
So what do I think about dating multiple men at the same time? Thank you so much for this question. It is actually a really interesting topic and not one that I had thought about speaking on, but it got me thinking. Now, this is just my opinion, so I'm not really here to cast judgment on what other people choose to do. So I'm not going to go as far as to say that I think it's immoral. Personally, I don't love it because I think it's just a terrible dating strategy. And I think it's one that's generally been fueled by online dating because, I mean, how else do people end up having all of these people to date? Usually, if you meet people organically, you're not going to meet tons of potential men to date all at the same time. And I think that women who do this or who think that it's a good strategy usually are coming from 2 different perspectives. Either one, they feel like dating multiple men at the same time prevents them from becoming too attached too quickly. And while I think it's good not to get too attached too quickly to a man that you've only just met, I think if you feel like you need to date multiple men at the same time in order to prevent that from happening, it probably means you have an anxious attachment style. And rather than dating multiple men as a strategy to cope with that, you should probably just deal with that issue, that whatever it is that's causing it. Because the truth is that you can actually heal and change your attachment style with a bit of awareness, a bit of work, possibly a bit of therapy. The second reason that I think women do this is because they are seeking male validation and male attention. And in some cases, this may go hand in hand with the issues that lead you to have an anxious attachment style as well. But either way, it's often a sign of some sort of self-esteem issue, some sort of insecurity that isn't being dealt with, and that they are then trying to sort of fill that gap with dating multiple men so that they feel desirable. And while it's absolutely great to feel desirable, that feeling should ideally start from within. So you shouldn't need all of these men telling you that you're desirable. Because if you constantly need men to tell you that you're desirable, then that means that they have the power to also make you feel undesirable. And that is a potentially dangerous place to be. So I think it's personally a much better strategy to just date one man at a time and see if this man fits your standards, fits your minimum criteria, and if you potentially see a future with this man. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, you'll know within one or a few dates that they are not the guy for you, and you can just let them go and move on. And usually with the ones that go beyond that are the ones where you actually see a potential future with them. And so you should really be focusing on dating them and seeing where it goes. And finally, I want to say that I don't know how people have time to maintain dating rosters anyway. I think it would be a much better use of your time to be investing energy into your self-improvement, your self-care, and just the things that you enjoy doing in your life. Having several men that you are talking to or seeing or in a situationship with, that is draining your energy that could be put to much better use. At the end of the day, your time and your energy, these are finite resources. So I don't know why you would want to waste them seeing men that you're not serious about. And if you are serious about any of them, then why would you want to be seeing other men? So I just don't think that the strategy is well-founded or in any way going to be beneficial to women in general. Unless you're someone like Samantha, where you're not looking for something serious and you do just want to have fun, then, go at it. Have a bunch of casual relationships and have a good time. But please don't do that thinking that this is a good strategy for finding a serious relationship, because I think more often than not, it's probably going to hinder you more than it will help you. But again, that's just my opinion and my perspective on the issue, so I hope that helps.
If you have lost all faith in the male species, as have I, just know there's still good men out there. I have been on 3 dates with this guy. The 3rd date, he reached in the back seat, brought me these flowers, picked me up, dropped me home, made a backup reservation the same night, just in case I got cold at the first restaurant. We were supposed to get matcha the next morning. I couldn't go because I had work. He sent me the matcha to my house instead. Our 4th date is tonight. I'm about to go on it. This is what I'm wearing. He is taking me flying on a plane. He's flying the plane. He's a pilot as his hobby. So sick. Really sick. And he told me he doesn't date for fun. He dates to marry. And that's what I do as well. So if you're looking for a good guy, just know they're out there. My neighbor, she's, I think, 65, and she said you have to kiss 1,000,000 frogs before you find the prince. And I think I've kissed many frogs, and the prince is really treating me like a princess, so yeah.
But another thing I see with my friends and going on first dates, which I feel like I'm like a grandma with the first dates now. I'm like, I've been hanging out with Braxton for a 1.5 years, so I haven't really been on any first dates, but you know, we play Hinge on the TV. My friends are looking through Hinge and we're like swiping if we like guys or not guys. And I like to advise and give advice, but a lot of my friends get really worked up before going on a first dates. And then once like my friends, I see them go on one date and then it's like, boom, it's like a trickle effect. Like they get this confidence and they're like, oh, okay, I can do it. And then all of a sudden they're on a million first dates and it's great. So I think you just need to like rip off the band-aid and get out there, and don't be so worried. I know your question was more so like conversation topics, but like if you have a good vibe with this person, the conversation will flow, and you don't need to be so stressed about like, oh, I need to get this done and say this and I don't know, talk about my past here. Like I think it's just like let it flow, have a good time, and you can always like find little things that are going on to have a conversation about. Like, have you been to this restaurant before? Oh, where do you normally like to eat? Oh, do you take out? Do you cook? Like, oh, what do you like to cook? Oh, this? Did your parents grow up cooking? Like, you could just like kind of weave it out like that. So I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I hope that was helpful. That's what Alex would do.
Let's talk about the 10 things no one tells you about dating in your 20s. 1. Don't date the guy that needs to keep score on who paid for what and who did what for the other person. Not everything in a relationship will always be equal at all times, and that's okay. Sometimes you're the one pulling a little more weight, sometimes it's him, and in the end, real love makes the score trivial. 2. You're not just dating the man, you're dating his family too. If his family constantly needs him to choose them over you, you'll never win. 3. The red flags will always come back to haunt you. Ignoring his slight drinking problem now often means signing up for life with an unapologetic, raging alcoholic later. 4. Don't date the guy that makes spending time with you feel like one of his chores. If you'd rather spend his Saturday night playing World of Warcraft with his buddies, let him spend every night with his buddies. So you can find a guy who wants to spend every night with you, possibly playing World of Warcraft if that's your thing. Some men only see respect as a one-way street. Avoid the guy who sees putting you down as a joke but putting him down as an insult. 6. People only seem normal to those who don't know them well enough. Don't worry about looking normal on a date, just be real. The truth comes out eventually anyways. 7. There are 2 types of men, the ones who are only good for a great night and the ones who are good for marriage. Don't ever confuse the 2. 8. Don't ever let yourself be the other woman to a woman that doesn't even exist in his life yet. If he feels like he can do better, let him try and go do better, because you can definitely do better than competing with a fantasy. 9. There's a difference between taking care of a man and becoming his de facto mom. Find a man, not a man-child. 10. Some men deserve second chances, but most of them don't. And at the end of the day, the person who deserves the second chance the most is you, as you go out and find another man who isn't dumb enough to lose you the first time.
Okay, no matter what you do, you are never going to reach that level of closeness that you really want with a man. I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. Men are never going to understand you. Men are never going to care to understand you because they don't have the emotional capacity to understand you. In order to understand somebody's emotions, you have to first be in tune with your own emotions. Men are not in tune with their own emotions. Instead of confronting their emotions and learning to process their emotions, they do the opposite. They avoid their emotions. Okay, ladies, please invest wisely. A man is an investment, okay? Your energy should be very expensive. So, when you're going out there in that dating world, I want you to treat it like a business. Why? Because this is how they treat it. They treat it like a business. A man is not going to invest in you unless he sees the value in it. Unless he sees he's going to make profit, okay? You should be the same. Your energy, your feminine energy is expensive. It's rare. It's sacred. Guard it. Guard it with your whole life. Only give it to people who earn it. Your vulnerability as a woman is a gift. If you want to give it to somebody, all I'm going to say is give it to the person who earns it.
My friend just told me something genius about meeting people in real life, like to find dates instead of using Hinge. And I quote, "I'm not going to ask a man out, but I do know how to set the bait." And here's how, according to her. Step 1, see a cute guy. And step 2, go up to them and say, "Hey Simon, how have you been?" Or whatever name you can think of. And they're gonna respond, "Sorry, I'm not Simon." To which you say, "Oh my god, you look so much like my friend's brother. It's crazy. Sorry about that." And if they're interested, they're gonna keep talking to you and probably ask you out. It's worked for her dozens of times. She's only been getting dates like that, or by meeting through friends of friends, or matching through dating apps that do the same thing, like Left Field. Let me know if this works for you, because I think it's really, really smart.
These are first date rules I think every woman should live by. I don't know about you, but I am tired of men lying and love bombing on the first date. I've learned that I need to protect myself. Number 1, cap it at 90 minutes. If he wants more time, he can earn it. He can take you out on a second date and he can continue to show you that he's interested and that he's gonna put effort into dating you. This leads to number 2, never go to a second location on the first date. First dates are not mini relationships. You have a life to live and the first date is just that. What are first dates for? Collecting data. Do you even know if you like this person yet? Going to a second place can often feel spontaneous and romantic. That's when things can start to get confusing. You can start building intimacy before there's any foundation of a relationship. In my experience, a second place is typically a bar, and what happens in a bar? It's loud, it's crowded, you're getting closer to each other because there's so many people. It starts to feel more intimate than it actually is. He did not earn that. This is a first date, and it gets confusing when you start getting close and touching, intimate, and there's that dopamine rush. It becomes hard for your brain to determine the difference between, do I actually like this person, or do I just like the attention and the dopamine and the emotional rush I'm getting right now? Honestly, this goes both ways. It starts to become confusing for your brain and body, but also for the man's brain and body. He's going through the same exact things. This can often lead into men love bombing, which men do a lot on the first date. Number 3, and some people might not agree with me on this one, but I am no longer going to have any alcohol on first dates. Not even 1 glass of wine. Alcohol also causes a release of dopamine in the brain. I don't want my brain to get confused and think this dopamine rush is coming from being in the presence of this person when it's actually just coming from the drink that I'm sipping on. Lastly, number 4, no texting after the first date. If you had a good time, you tell him in person. Say, thanks for dinner, I had a great time, thanks for taking me out. Leave it at that. I feel like if I text first after a first date, then I feel like I'm chasing and not in my feminine energy anymore, and I'm not giving him space to show that he's interested or for him to chase like the man should do. I can assure you, a man that's interested in pursuing you will reach out to you. So those are my 4 rules for a first date. I would love to know what your first date rules are, so please drop those down in the comments. I honestly would love to add to my list. Let's feel empowered in dating, ladies. Hope that helps. Bye.
Dating nowadays isn't a guy asking you on a date. It's him asking you if you've ever been to Equinox or Altea to flex his membership and then offering to take you as his +1. I just love men. Use what you got, buddy.
So research shows that like 90% of us going into first dates are actually really nervous. So yeah, it's normal not to feel as confident, but here's a dating game changer that has worked for my clients. So to switch up your mentality of, will they like me? Am I wearing the right thing? Am I saying the right thing? I want you to start saying this. I want to know, do they fit into my life? Not do I fit into their life? Are they asking you the right questions? Are they wanting to get to know you? Are there any red flags? Remember, you are choosing them. You are not being picked.
Fellas, stop doing this when texting a girl because it may be ruining your chances. Excessive emojis and LOLs. This makes you come off as immature and not masculine. Texting 24/7. Texting is for building trust and arranging dates. You don't need to be texting constantly. Only sending texts. Especially once you've been on a good date or 2, try a voice note or just call her. This shows that you're confident and the type of guy who takes charge.
I don't cook. I'm a microwave girl. I can cook tacos and pasta. Every guy I've ever dated, I've been in a 7-year relationship, 2 years, 8 years, and I don't cook.
So you're not going to cook for your kids?
I will do chicken dinos, and order healthy
What's a
food
chicken
in.
dinos?
Chicken dinos from Jewel or Trader Joe's, like chicken
Like
fingers.
chicken nuggets?
Like I'm not cooking from scratch. I will cook and put things in the oven. I am a healthy person. I modeled for years. I would get a healthy plan. I'll buy the food. I'll put it on
Why
a
are
plate.
you offended though? What
Because,
offends you about that?
I'm offended because it's basically like,
Are you offended
I'm
'cause you
only
don't know
gonna
how to
I
cook?
know I'm only going to date you if you cook for me. That's not really.
A 70-year-old man once told me that you should always be dating at least 3 guys at once. Never just one. And don't drop the other guys off your roster until one fully commits to you. Like he deadass said, until you're engaged. I'll think about that a lot.
I firmly believe the man should be the one leading in the early stages of dating. He should be pursuing you, not chasing you, because there is a distinction. A high-level man is not going to chase you if you are not showing interest, if you are playing hard to get. but let him lead, let him initiate. You should not be the one pushing things forward or pursuing a relationship with him. That does not mean you should be passive. If you like the guy, you should definitely express interest, reciprocate the interest. To help reveal his level of interest in you, he needs to lead. Because, put it this way, if you give a dog a treat or a bone, you just put it right in front of them, they're probably gonna take it because it's right in front of them. But if they have to put in a little bit of work, they gotta make an effort for it, will help reveal their interest in you.
Here is a real life example of banter for you so you can secure that number in a dating app. If you want to find out why banter is important when it comes to dating apps, check out my other videos on dating app messaging. I thought it'd be easier if I show you a good example of banter in messaging, and what better way than getting personal and showing you what worked on me, because I mean, he got my number. So he did great, starting out the conversation playful by making fun of my Instagram handle, Tosh9pm. Hey Tosh, what happens after 9 p.m? I responded with, maybe if we get along, you'll be lucky to find out. Then he responded with a pickup line that is actually super great because he's making fun of the traditional trying to get to know each other through a dating app. His line was, can you tell me your interests so I can pretend to share them? So this was sexy because it exudes confidence. Obviously that could have been taken the wrong way if we weren't being playful already, but we've already been playful, so I know he's kidding. Then I shared a few of my interests, and then he joked around and exaggerated about how all those interests he had in common as well. Then said, since we have so much in common, why don't I get your number so we could set up a date? Now he can call me or we can set up a time to chat to have those typical interview questions, but keep those out of the dating app. That's not what it's for. The dating app is just for getting her contact. Keep it playful and keep it fun.
I've been thinking about what I wanted to say to this since I saw this comment like a day or two ago, because I think it's important not to get on here and just say whatever, just to say stuff to get likes or say stuff because you heard someone else say it and it was cool or it got them a bunch of views. I want to say stuff that I think is very impactful and intentional. And what I want you guys to recognize is the fact that men often overinflate or overestimate their market value, while women underinflate or underestimate their market value. And you can see that here on TikTok. You see videos all the time. How to do your makeup to attract a man, or what to wear to attract a man. And you never see it on the other side. You don't see, videos from men telling other men, oh, here's what to wear to attract a woman, or here's a scent to wear to attract a woman. You never see it on the other side. And it's interesting because a lot of that comes from the fact that women used to need men. We couldn't vote, we couldn't hold jobs that made enough money to support ourselves, to have pets, to have kids as single women if we so choose, to travel, to basically do anything. So now we are in a completely different place. Women are more educated than men, we are out earning men, and we don't necessarily need men. We are now the prize. We have the higher market value, and men's value has just fallen. Their stock has fallen by the way that society has developed. And a lot of men are still operating under the premise that they are necessary, and they just operate under that auspice. And by having that kind of mindset, it makes them less likely to be a provider, to take care of, be thoughtful with the women in their lives. And it's something that needs to be recognized and chatted about. So take a look around and make sure that you girls are really sure of your value and that you are placing the value on yourself where you should be. You are worth everything, and you need to be moving like that.
My first date rules that I think you should implement. Number one, never have them pick you up on a first date. Have you ever met somebody for the first time? They get out of the car, they don't get out of the car. It's so awkward. No, you want to walk into the date, okay? Number two, be just a hair late. It's fucking stupid, but there's something about them being there and you walking in rather than you sitting there waiting for them. Okay? Number three, dates only on weekend nights. I know how some of you feel about this. Thursday night's the best night. No, during the week, I have to get up early. I'm tired. I want to have time to get ready and enjoy it. And this shows that this man does not go out with his motherfucking boys every Friday and Saturday night. If he's making time for you on a Friday or Saturday night, I feel like that's a good sign. 4, do not pen pal beforehand. You should know nothing about this man before going on the date, okay? Okay. Number 5, do not tell them your relationship expectations on the first date. I feel like people come in so hot and like, this is what I'm looking for. First of all, let them show you. Second of all, it's a first date. You're just getting to know them. Chill the fuck out. Number 6, thank them during the date. Thank you so much for the drinks. Thank you so much for dinner. Great to meet you. Peace the fuck out. Okay, no text after thank you. No, you thank them in person. Number 7, if you're gonna go on a second date, wait a minimum of 3 days to go on the next date. Don't be too available, okay? Let it simmer, let it rest. What's the rush, okay? Like, sit on it, think about that first date, because sometimes we're like all excited, like, chill out. You're gonna be fine. Number 8, do not be on your phone during this date. It's an hour, maybe 2 of your time. Don't be a shitty person. Be present. Put your fucking phone away. It's just disrespectful. I hate people who do this. Do not. 9, don't get drunk either, okay? If you're getting drinks, that's okay. You don't need to get hammered. Like, make this, be present again. Don't be a dumbass, okay? Number 10, go into the date expecting friendship. I go into every single date, well, I have a boyfriend now, but I used to, like, this guy seems cool, might make a friend out of this. I never went in like, this is gonna be the love of my life. I feel like you put so much expectations, you're nervous. Like, you just need to go in with confidence and be like, okay, this is gonna be fun. Like, I'm just meeting a new person and it can evolve from there. This, like, chill out, okay? And 11, have fun. It's a first date. It's supposed to be fucking fun.
Thanks for asking. This was actually also an unconventional path for me. Up until last year, I was actually still in the corporate world. I was a VP of sales operations, working predominantly in data visualization and strategy for client retention for a corporate gifting company. And prior to that, I spent 11 years in pro sports with the Dallas Stars front office as their director of strategy and retention. Again, working in client relations and sales. And I had done that for ever, it seems. So my career has always been based in strategy. And when I returned to the dating world, I used strategy to ensure that I was always having a good time. Time is the absolute most valuable thing that any of us possess. So it's always really important to me that if I'm investing time in anything, whether that's, communicating on a dating app or going on a physical date with somebody when I was single, it was very important to me to ensure that I knew I was going to go into it having a good time, and that no matter where that connection led, if it was a romantic fit or not, I could at least walk away from it thinking that it was a good use of my time and that I enjoyed meeting someone great because I had properly vetted them and used strategy to ensure that it was going to be a quality conversation and an interesting individual that was worth getting to know. And this is really where Relish Every Vibe comes from, is I started noticing, particularly on TikTok, I would hear all these dating stories of everybody hates it. They hate the dating game and they hate the process, and it's very frustrating and disheartening, and I get how hard it is. I really, really do. But it doesn't have to be so miserable. And I really wanted to start to help people understand how to enjoy the process and to set themselves up for better success, so that when you are investing that time and energy and emotional space for someone or just for the act of dating in itself, it's at least worthwhile and valuable to you. And it's always teaching you something about yourself or others. It's helping you grow in ways that are going to prepare you to be better in your next relationship, or it's going to make you more prepared to know exactly what you are looking for and what works for you and what doesn't. And that's a really important part of the process. And so, I left the corporate world last year, and I've actually been working predominantly with successful executives that are, maybe recently divorced and trying to return to the dating scene for the first time. And they want to take the same approach that they have taken to their business lives and their professional success, which is, you know, learning how to properly do it and to employ strategy to be successful with it. And so I've kind of been taking this boutique approach to coaching these very successful individuals, and I have loved every minute of that, and it's been fantastic. But in that capacity, I can only help a handful of people a year, honestly, because I'm typically working very closely with these individuals, and it's a large time commitment. So I wanted to come to TikTok and try to help more people and offer at least broader advice to help get more people relishing in the dating experience again and enjoying the process on their way to true connection and on their way to finding out what kind of relationship works for them and what their real dating goals are. So many people don't even know. They're just throwing stuff at a wall, hoping it sticks, and agreeing to go out with whatever comes along their way that seems remotely feasible. And it's just not a great way to go about it to enjoy yourself. And we should all be enjoying ourselves, because that's what life's about. That's what human connection is about. And yeah, it was really important to me to try to reach more people and help who I can and see who it resonates with. So if it does, stick around my page. I'll continue to offer more dating advice. And I do have services available, obviously, that I'll be pushing y'all's way soon. But yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know.
This one here is for my single ladies. If you're not single or a lady, you can just keep scrolling. This is irrelevant for you. Okay, are they gone, you guys? If you're having a hard time trying to find a guy who's not a piece of shit, listen the fuck up. So a couple weeks ago, I saw a study that men don't fully mature until they're 43 years old. 43. Okay, and then so I got to thinking, like, why am I wasting my time with like 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds? Like, that's just seems like I'm doing it backwards, you know what I mean? This weekend had a date with a 42-year-old, and when I'm telling you from start to finish, this shit was next level. The emotional intelligence, the maturity level, the financial stability, it was the everything for me. I've never felt so taken care of in my life. Date older. The point of this is just don't waste your time and just date older.